excited, love.
I think I need to hear some more.
I think of you all the time.
I still need to hear some more.
I'm making up my mind right now.
What you doing that for?
I'm dreaming. Will you be my superstar?
And drive a flashy sports car.
Will you be my everything?
And treat you like a real kid.
I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you.
Oh my God, it's getting late.
Ask you on a date.
I forgot to feed my cat.
Over to your flat.
Maybe I can stay a while. I'm dreaming. I just need some time to think.
You want another dream?
Will you be my everything?
I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming of you. I get all excited, love.
I'm dreaming
I
of you.
think of you all the time.
I'm dreaming of
I'm
you.
making up my mind right now.
I'm dreaming of you.
I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming of you.
That's Feldberg. They're called, I suppose you could call them an Icelandic duo or a pair of Icelanders. That's a song called Dreamin', and I think they were doing a gig either last week or this weekend. Maybe somebody would remind me. They're doing something maybe this Friday in Belfast, all the way from Iceland. So there you go. Good morning. Gerald Michael Anderson here. The number to ring if you want to contact this programme, and please do, it's 08459 555 678. The email address is gerry.anderson@bbc.co.uk, and the text messaging service for those of you who perhaps, well, are unhappy. It's 81771. Here's the usual correction. A gentleman says, I have to correct you about, you said yesterday a phrase, now I have to get this right, Jucandoris. Apparently it's some kind of Gaelic phrase, and I said it meant close the door. It, of course, does not mean close the door. It means a drop or drink of the door and indicates the last drink you take before going off to do something. As indeed in hold your hour and have another. Actually, you'll have another you one before you go. Don't be going yet, it's early. Here, finish that one off. It's a song from quite a while ago by a gentleman called Harry Lauder. Harry Lauder! And if you listen to the words, close the door doesn't fit. Why would you say, a wee close the door? I don't know why you would say that. Many some people say things on this programme, and I don't know why they say it. But you might say, a wee drop a drink at the door. Anyway, I love the crack on your show, although Sean interrupting your stories can be very annoying. Well, there's no need to worry about that today, because he's not here and he won't be here until next Monday. So I can tell all the stories I want. I don't bother listening to the music, because you play some crap. Well, thank you for that. Jucandoris, of course, means close the door. What I meant to say, from my imperfect knowledge of the mother tongue, I meant to say dridge and doris, which indeed means close the door in Irish. That's one of those phrases you learn from when you're wee. Because when I was the Christian Brothers, you see, what they said to me was, they used to teach first year, Christian Brothers Technical School. What they do is they teach you languages, because they say languages are very important to get on in the world, because this is a changing world, and with Europe coming up and everything like that, it'll be great if you speak another language. So you can learn two languages. The one is English. Sorry, we already knew that. Well, no, we didn't really in a way. Irish and French. And during the first year, they taught us Irish and French. I, of course, had no idea about Irish because it was all backways, but French was easy because it's a Romance language and it's almost like English and it's constructed the same way. So French is quite easy to learn when you're young. So at the end of the first year, the Christian Brothers get you up and say, right, you're going to have to choose now. And your second year, you're going to have to do French or Irish. It's Irish, isn't it? And say, but I want to do... It's Irish, isn't it? But I want to do... No, it's Irish. You choose Irish. Will I write down Irish? Irish, isn't it? So we learnt Irish and I speak not a word of it. That could have been great. Speaking of Mr. Coyle complaining about him, not many people miss him. A friend told me that Mr. Coyle is away on retreat with the St. Rasputin order of monks. Anyway, the eyebrow was seen scowling from under a cowl. Mr. Coyle was bound with strong chains and making a clanking noise like Marley's ghost. I hope it's not Mickey Marley's ghost when he walked. Mr. Coyle was last seen down on his knees weeding a vegetable patch, and all who saw him, and there were many, agreed that no breeks could be seen. An old codger on his way to pick up his false teeth yelled, "The monk has gone commando!" Mr. Coyle startled a group of millies when he leapt out from behind a wind bush and roared, "Though your sins be as red as scarlet, I shall make them white as snow." Well, you see, I always suspected that beneath that scurly and indeed surly countenance lay a religious heart. We all knew the breakdown was coming, the bad temper and the bad manners, the constant interrupting. Let us pray that a new, refreshed, born again Mr. Coyle returns to the show. Well, I think it's important that he comes back, indeed. Well, you see, other people miss him, and here's a poem. Sean Coyle is on vacation, off for rest and relaxation. Peut-être a little libation. He is on vacation. Sean Coyle is on vacation. Gerry addresses the nation. No grumbles, moans, procrastination. Sean Coyle is on vacation. Sean Coyle is on vacation, not a foreign destination. Instead, the very staycation. Sean Coyle is on vacation. He is on vacation, now his grandchildren are his fascination. No longer the man about town, or indeed a man of recreation. Sean Coyle is on vacation. He is on vacation, the 6 counties, relieved of his consternation, is though temporary still a consolation. Sean Coyle is on vacation. He is on vacation, not sacked, not yet. No desperation, subtle retribution combined with possible constipation. Sean Coyle is on vacation. A lot of poetry today. A gentleman writes to me and says one of my colleagues has written a poem that he feels could be helpful in changing opinions in his homeland. And I look down and I see that this man is in America. See, what happens to people when they go to America is they look back at the little province they left and they say, oh, if they could all just get together and be peaceful. And he says, what's the point? Our Protestants and Catholics, oh, why do we fight? Why do we live in fear of day and night? Why the separation of the big stone walls? Why the paintings on the Shankill and the Falls? If you're Irish, you know in your heart, don't let the border tear you apart. As a matter of fact, the border has torn a number of us apart, psychologically, I mean. So give me the tricolour and the Union Jack, and I will put them back to back. Well, you'd only do that in certain areas, because if you do that in certain other areas, you'll find a stone bouncing off the back of your head. For there is no point in fighting. Let's stop and pray, because the British and Irish are here to stay. Thank you for that illuminating poem. I shall mull over it tonight and see what difference it can make to the peace process. Now, a gentleman called Simon contacts me. He said, I am a tour guide based in the north of England. I conduct a variety of guided coach tours. I recently had a coach from Ulster with some very good-humoured people on board. And the tourists on the Ulster coach advised me to contact you for a bit of fun. And he's on the line. Simon is on the line. Good morning, Simon.
Good morning, Gerry.
And how did you find these people from Ulster? Did you not find that they drank too much?
They had a brilliant sense of humour, Gerry, and they absolutely loved the day out. It was great, really.
And they asked you to contact me because they feel as if you've got a peculiar talent, which I would value.
Yeah, well, Gerry, apparently you've got a fantastic sense of humour. And I contact you because on the coaches, when I'm telling stories, I do use the odd sound effect by mouth alone.
Yes.
And I've got quite a battery, really.
Okay.
And some of the guys on the coach said, Simon, you've got to contact Radio Ulster and see if they'll let you do a few sound effects, because it might go down quite well with a few people.
Well, I am the man. If you want to do sound effects, I am the first port of call.
Yeah.
Right, let's see what you can do, mate.
Okay, well, this is one of my favourite ones, Gerry. This is a bottle of red wine with a very, very large cork in it. We're going to take the cork out and we're going to pour the contents out. Here we go.
Okay.
Nice bottle of red wine, that, Gerry.
At the beginning, you sounded like my granddaughter. That's very, very good. Right, continue on, as they say.
This is a train, but it's the sound of the steel wheels on the rail. And there it goes into the distance.
How did you do that?
You take a deep, deep breath, and it's a bit like whistling, but you let the air out really, really slowly from your mouth, and you get this lovely echoing sound. I'll give you another example. Here we go.
How do you get that metallic kind of thing that you had going there?
I
don't know. I mean, obviously you can't explain it. You just can either do it or you can't.
Yeah, it's really, using the mouth like an echo chamber, a very deep breath, and then you let the sound slowly out with the teeth, and you get this lovely...
That's really good.
It's a lovely sound, that, Gerry, isn't it?
Great, okay. Go ahead. Any other ones?
Okie dokie. Another great sound, galloping horses.
Well, I'll tell you what. Never a dull moment on your bus.
It's
I
great
would say.
fun. Gerry, I absolutely love tour guiding, and I'm based in Lancashire, not too far from Blackpool, and we have lots of these old textile mills, which have all closed down, sadly, due to foreign imports. And these textile mills had huge amounts of room, and they've all been turned into, like, shopping outlets.
Yeah.
And one is called Oswald Twistle Mill, which is very, very near the town of Accrington. And we get coaches from all over Great Britain, and we do get a lot from Ulster, and they're brilliant characters, really marvellous.
Okay. Well, you'll have to come over and see us.
I am going to come to the province very, very soon for my first visit, and that's the first week in September, and I can't wait to see the Sperrin Mountains. I've heard a lot about them.
Go to Gorchin Glen, where you'll be knocked out by the native beauty.
Yep, I'm told the Sperrin Mountains are gorgeous, and I'm told Down and Antrim. And I'm looking forward to going to see the Belfast Titanic Museum, because that really will be a fantastic crowd pull, I'm sure.
Give us a shout when you come over. Take a tour and heckle the guy.
Yeah.
Listen, it says here you do a dentist drill.
Oh, yeah. Now, this is a very, very painful sound effect, Gerry.
Right.
A very expensive one.
Uh-huh.
I've got, of course, a National Health Service dentist, but I've got to pay the guy again, which I can't really understand, really, but... This is the sound of the dentist drill, and we'll have the dentist sucker as well.
Okay.
Open wide.
Right. Oh, that's it. Oh. Oh, that's it. And you got it winding down and everything.
That is really, really painful, mate, isn't it? Really painful.
Well, listen, Simon, that's great. Thank you very much indeed. And will you contact us when you get over and we'll have another
Gerry,
crack at that?
I'm looking forward to coming to Ireland. I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks very much for kindly having me on.
And thank you to all these Radio Ulster people, all the people from Radio Ulster who recommended you contact this programme.
That's brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.
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 Champagne late at night, beauty queen candlelight. Where did it all go wrong? Live streams on it seems, skyscrapers, football teams. Where did it all go wrong? Some say the winner takes it all, but I stand ready for a fall. I've climbed higher than the rest. Look out,
That's Where Did It All Go Wrong from the musical Dancing Shoes, the George Best story. That's the original cast recording, in case you're wondering, because, well, it's not a great recording, that, to be honest with you, but you see, these aren't professional singers, and it's Dancing Shoes, the George Best story, but I think the songs are good. It's starting in the Opera House. I think it's on this Friday. Please play a request for my mother's and father's 50th wedding anniversary tomorrow. Today, Wednesday the 3rd of August. Their names are Maura and Brenton Quinn of Belfast. We're having a celebration meal on Wednesday night in Belfast. If you play the Black Hills of Dakota, if that's not your song of choice, no particular time, just during your show, well, we may be able to get that. The request is from all their family and friends at some Noel Quinn. The other night, a gentleman says, I watched in horror as Joe Mahan tried to ease his periwinkle out of its shell with a pin. That's Lesser Spotted Ulster, of course. I watched Joe doing that. I don't know how he did it. Slippery little devil, said Joe to the woman who is in front of him, boiling a big pot of disgusting famine food. Well, you see, I don't know what famine food is. Next we saw Joe in a graveyard, gazing down at Chichester Clark, stroke O'Neill's grave. Men who were big cheeses in the Unionist Party before it all fell apart like a cheap suit. Joe dandered here and there, looking up at mountains, gazing into rivers, saying things that were important. My mind wasn't really on the show. I still had a mental picture of the Joe, pin in hand, fiddling with his periwinkle. I don't even remember if he made his exit through the rushes. Yes, he did. I saw the end of the programme. Joe disappeared, muttering, pondering, talking about great things of the past. Another gentleman says, where would a man source the likes of a CD from Sean Donnelly? Well, I think Sean Donnelly's got a website, Sean Donnelly, folkmusic.co.uk, as far as I know. I'll check that. That's from Tony Dunlop in Coleraine. I'll check that and let you know later. And a person lets me know something that was concerned this programme a while back, a few days ago. A gentleman thought he saw extraterrestrial craft over a Bangor, and many people suggested that they were Chinese lanterns, but the person who actually set off the Chinese lanterns has admitted that she was indeed the culprit. Vicky says, just wanted to let you know what the strange lights in the sky were on Saturday, the 23rd of July, from your show on the 28th of July, 51 minutes in. That means that this person has been using the iPlayer. They were 2 Chinese lanterns that were set off from Gleno for my cousin Kathleen Miller's birthday. Hope this solves all the hidden mysteries of where they came from and what they were. You see, the person has owned up. All is well.
Everybody's got the fever. That is something you all know. Fever is such a new thing. Fever started long ago. You give me fever when you kiss me. Fever when you hold me tight. Fever in the morning. Fever all through the night.
That's Peggy Lee, of course, and Iggy Pop, Passenger Fever, from an album called Mashed. And someone says to me, who sang that song, Where Did It All Go Wrong? Let me just check. I'm looking on this, on the cast version of George Best, Dancing Shoes. Where Did It All Go Wrong? Marty McGuire, Aidan O'Neill, Alana Cairn, Paddy Jenkins. Paddy Jenkins is singing, is he? I think it's Marty McGuire, yeah. I think he plays that particular part of Bob Bishop, I think it is. I'm not quite sure who it is. Another gentleman writes to me and he said, last week I contacted you to let you know that I would be flying to London from Belfast International Airport at the weekend, and that I was concerned that my shaving foam would be confiscated by security. Well, this is an ever-present risk because they're getting too big for their boots. Well, I flew at the weekend, and yes, my shaving foam was confiscated from me by security personnel. But you see, you knew that was going to happen. It wasn't just the shaving foam that they took from me. They also confiscated my aftershave, a can of antiperspirant, a bottle of shampoo, a bottle of conditioner, a bottle of mouthwash, a tube of Germaline, a bottle of shower gel, and finally, believe it or not, a 200 milligram Capri Sun soft drink. When I reached London, I went immediately to the chemist shop to buy replacement products. It cost me a fortune, not only because London is expensive, but also because these airport shops are so much more expensive than similar high street stores. I'm still seething. What can I do about this? Well, try this. Next time you go on a plane, don't bring shaving foam, don't bring a can of antiperspirant, aftershave, a bottle of shampoo, a bottle of conditioner, a bottle of mouthwash, a tube of Germaline, a bottle of shower gel, or a 200 millilitre, whatever it is, Capri Sun soft drink. Try that. I'll tell you what you can do, though. If you go into any chemist, maybe perhaps Boots or something like that, they have little travel packs, and you've got little bottles, little tiny bottles, and there's about 5 or 6 of them. And they fit in a little kind of a plastic thing at the airport, believe it or not, that the airport approve of. And what you can do is, if you want a little bit of conditioner, you pour some in there. A bit of mouthwash, you pour some in there. You're like a kind of an alchemist. So you can bring all these little bottles. And even then, they'd probably take them off you anyway. But sure, it's worth a try. At least you're trying. Someone's on the line. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Gerry. How are you?
Have you ever been annoyed at the airport by people trying to take things off you?
I have indeed. I have had many a thing confiscated.
Now, here's an idea. I mentioned this the other day. I'm just going to mention this on behalf of the man who wrote to me, Paul in Dungannon. The next time you go on a plane and they take something off you, what you can do is this. You can ask them to bring you a rubbish container whereby you pour your stuff out. And that annoys them really greatly. So it's worth doing it. Instead of actually giving them the bottle of mouthwash and they throw them in, ask if you let them watch you, pouring it out, see, it means that you're somehow unwholesome, which is always a great thing to be.
I had stuff taken off me and I got 3 different versions of how it was disposed of, so I'll not go there.
All right, then.
What I was wanting to ask you is, you played a great number yesterday. Actually, when I managed to tune into it, I thought it was one of the Hot Chili Pipers, but I think it was called Harry's in Heaven, and it's by, I think, Martin Bennett.
That's right, yes.
Now, is that off the Hardland album?
Hold on a second. I have that. Oh, no, I left it upstairs. Is it Harry Bennett? I'm not quite sure. Oh, here. No, I don't have it, no.
I think it's Harry's in Heaven.
Oh, it is. It is.
By Martin Bennett.
Martin Bennett. Harry's in Heaven by Martin Bennett, Martyn Bennett. Now,
right.
I have a feeling that Martin Bennett passed away at a very young age.
Well, I know yesterday I searched the length and breadth of the UK trying to get that, and it has been withdrawn for some reason or other. Coda Records in Edinburgh did stock it, but I was just wondering where you got it. Or
it was sent to me by a friend of mine who sent me a compilation of music, because I'm very lucky because a lot of people out there really love music, and they kind of sense that I do too. Yeah. And what they do, a number of guys, there's about 5 of them in particular, they put together compilations of things they think I might like.
Okay.
And that was one of them. Every once in a while you find a real gem, and I thought that was one of them. But it's not everybody's cup of tea, I have to say.
I appreciate that. But
that's why I'm going to play it again. That's why I'm going to play it again after the news.
Okay, Jerry, okay.
Right, of course you can't record this off the radio, it's illegal.
No, absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to play this after the news.
Thanks very much indeed, Jerry.
Okay, all right then. Bye.
When I was a child, everybody smiled. Nobody knows me at all. Very late at night and in the morning light, nobody knows me at all. I got lots of friends, yes, but then again, nobody knows me at all. beautiful life. Nobody knows me at all. And oh, when the lights are low, oh, with someone I don't know, oh, I don't give a damn, I'm happy as a clam. Nobody knows me at all. Ah, what can you do? There's nobody like you. Nobody knows me at all. I know how you feel, no secrets to reveal. Nobody knows me at all. I'm very late at night and in the morning light. Nobody knows me at all. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows me. Nobody knows me at all.
That's a great little song called Nobody Knows Me by the Weepies from an album called Say I Am You. Gerry, that music is crap. Put something nice on. Well, it's a matter of opinion. Gerry, you promised me a Linda Welby CD in Sainsbury's car park. When can I come and get it? Says Gerry Higgins. And please play Jedward for my daughter. Well, yes to the first, no to the second. Well, first of all, I have to say that I promised many's a thing in Sainsbury's car park, and I never come through. I'll give you a ring, actually. We'll organise the handover of the Linda Welby CD, if that is the right expression. Back after the news.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
And at the news desk at 11 o'clock, this is Sabrina Sweeney. A female cyclist has died after a traffic accident in East Belfast this morning. The woman, who's believed to be in her 30s, was struck by a lorry on the Upper Newtownards Road just before 8 o'clock. The police are appealing for witnesses. 2 men arrested yesterday after police recovered a suspected gun in Randalstown have been released. The 30-year-olds were detained near the Ballygrooby roundabout. There's a security alert in Londonderry. Army technical officers are examining a suspicious object on the Foyle Road. A number of residents were evacuated from their homes, but most have now returned. The object was noticed by officers who were in the area following a number of arrests last night. 3 men and a teenager were arrested and are still being questioned about dissident Republican activity. Detectives removed a suspected gun for forensic testing. Extraordinary scenes are unfolding inside a courtroom in the Egyptian capital Cairo, where the former president Hosni Mubarak has gone on trial on charges of corruption and ordering the killing of protesters. Mr Mubarak, who's been in hospital for the past few months, was wheeled into a large black metal cage on a stretcher. Also on trial are his 2 sons and 7 other defendants. From outside the court, our correspondent John Lyne.
As crowds outside watched intently on a wide screen, the court session unfolded. First to appear in the dock were Hosni Mubarak's 2 sons, Gamal and Alaa, and then the former Interior Minister Habib El-Adli. Then finally, Hosni Mubarak himself, lying on some sort of bed or stretcher, but otherwise apparently conscious and fully aware of what was going on. It's a moment most Egyptians thought they would never see. It was greeted with jeers and wolf whistles outside the police academy where the trial is being held, and surely with amazement across the Middle East.
Now to sport with Joel Taggart.
Well, the Open golf champion Darren Clarke says Tiger Woods' return from injury this week is fantastic news for the sport. Clarke will play alongside the former world number 1 for the first 2 rounds of the World Golf Invitational. In boxing, new WBA interim super middleweight champion Brian McGee says he's hoping for a shot at a regular world title, hopefully in front of a crowd in Belfast. However, he admits he may be forced to go where the money is. Rangers are hoping to overturn a 1-goal deficit in tonight's Champions League qualifying tie against Malmo. They've never progressed in Europe after losing the first leg. And Carling Premiership new boys Carrick Rangers have lost the services of midfielder Noel Anderson just days before the new season.
Now to the weather forecast with Elizabeth Austin.
Hello there. A dry day today with plenty of cloud around, but also some sunshine and brightness at times. We're looking at highs of 19 degrees Celsius in Belfast. That's 66 in Fahrenheit. More cloud developing into the afternoon and it will turn wet overnight, but quite a warm night with lows of 14 degrees Celsius. So wet start to tomorrow morning and sunshine and showers later.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel news.
In East Belfast, the Upper Newtonards Road remains closed in both directions at the North Road junction. The road is likely to remain closed until lunchtime as police carry out investigations into the fatal accident mentioned in the news. Elsewhere, traffic is moving well around the city. In Londonderry, a security alert is ongoing on the Foyle Road. It remains closed from Craigavon Bridge to Moat Street, and motorists can expect long delays in the area. Laura McDade reporting.
Travel news on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, the single transferable letter. One size fits all. Sinn Féin MLA Willie Clark sent a letter to the Morn Observer. Michelle Gildernew sent one to the Fermanagh Herald. Raymond McCartney to the Derry Journal. Nothing strange there. It's exactly the same letter, to the last comma. Jim Wells doing his nut about it. What's going on, we'll be asking. The housing market's in crisis, but is it any easier to rent than to buy? We want your house hunting nightmares. Have you been gazumped on a rental? They're the Irishmen shunned for deserting to fight for the British in World War II. And changing your name? What about changing it to the longest name in the UK? Like Baron, Venom, Balrog, Sabretooth, Vader, Megatron, Vegeta, Robotnik, Magnet... Oh, life's too short, isn't it? Join the debate on Talkback at 12.
Thank you, Wendy. You know, I have a feeling that maybe not all of our politicians are entirely sincere. I don't know where I get this, but, you know, I hope you don't mind me saying that because it's, you know, it's a revolutionary thing to say and I hesitate to even think it. But a gentleman was saying earlier on that he was trying to find out something about Martin Bennett, a song called, well, it's not a song, it's a kind of it's a work of art, I think, called Harry's in Heaven. Now, I just remembered that a gentleman sent me an email about Martin Bennett and I can't find it. It's disappeared into the ether. And if the gentleman who sent me an email about Martin Bennett would send it to me again, I'd appreciate it greatly. This is Harry's in Heaven. Not everybody's cup of tea, as I say, but it's worth listening to just to see what this guy used to do. I think he's left us now. That's where Dritch and Doris came from, or Duke and Doris, whatever it's called.
Look at the crowd. Look at the crowd. Look at the crowd. But don't get so excited. Oh, I tell you. Oh dear. Look at the crowd. Look at the crowd. Look at the crowd. Look at the. But don't get so excited. That's all right, boys. But I must tell you this first of all, that where there are one or two or three or four or more Scots gathered together, there's a general rule sometimes that we, just before we part, you know, we have a wee joke and Doris. But don't get so excited. Oh dear.
Slow down, you move too fast. You gotta make the morning last. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, feeling groovy. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, feeling groovy. Hello lamppost, what you knowin'? I come to watch your flowers growin'. Ain't you got no rhymes for me? Doodly-doo-doo, feeling groovy. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, feeling groovy. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, feeling groovy. I got no deeds to do, no promises to keep. I'm dappled and drowsy and ready to sleep. Let the morning time drop all its petals on me. Life, I love you, all is groovy. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, feeling groovy. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, feeling groovy. Slow down, you move too fast. You gotta make the morning last. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, feeling groovy. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da, feeling groovy.
It's seldom you play a cover of a Simon and Garfunkel number because you can't usually do them any better. But I think Liam Merriman, because that's who that is, does a great job in that. That's the 59th Street Bridge song, Feeling Groovy. That's a single from the album, his album, Liam Merriman. It's called Sing Street. Right. I've often spoken of Phil Lynott on this programme. Phil Lynott from Thin Lizzy, of course. And there's a remarkable exhibition on in Dublin in Stephen's Green Shopping Centre. It's been on since March and it's called Still in Love with You, the Philip Lynott exhibition. Now, I've never seen it, but I know it's going to end on August the 31st, and I'm told by everyone I've talked to that it's just something really special. His mum is on the line, Philomena. Good morning, Philomena. How are you?
Good morning, Gerry.
It's lovely to talk to you.
And the same here, thank you kindly.
I've never met you, but I saw a remarkable programme that you did on the Late Late Show not too long ago. I thought you were great, and my wife thought you were very beautiful.
Oh, thank you kindly for your compliment. I know what you look like.
Well, you see, I'm not beautiful.
I have the advantage. I'm coming up tomorrow to Belfast.
Are you really? Tell me where you're going to be.
I'm going to be in a place called the Rock Bar on the Falls Road.
Yes.
From 3:30 to 6 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be telling the story of my book. Well, my life, actually. And there were so many things. I wrote a book about 10 years ago called My Boy.
Yes.
And it became a #1 hit. And but I kept back a load of secrets because my mother was alive. And my Philip died not knowing these secrets also. So now I've told everything, and because I'm 80 years of age, and this year it's been the 25th anniversary of Philip's death.
That's right.
And so I've cleared my conscience before I go up to heaven, hopefully. And so the book has done very well. It's been in the charts for the last 15 weeks. It was #1 for about 7 or 8 weeks.
Well, have you thought of...
I've been up and down the country, length and breadth of the country, signing in Easton's bookshops and all other bookshops.
Well, have you republished the book, or is it just something that's been going on for a while?
The book. Let me see.
You didn't publish a new version of it, an updated version of it, no?
It's the book. I think it's been about. Gosh, I don't know.
Not to worry, that's okay. But the point is, there's been.
I can't remember the date it first came out. All I know is
95, I think.
I've nearly been all over Ireland signing.
No, but it's what I mean. It's had a momentum of its own. Now, a very odd thing is happening with Phil now. He seems to have been. The Irish people have taken him to their hearts in the way that they haven't taken the likes of Bono and anybody else. And I know why. It's because they're discovering what a really nice and talented guy he was.
You're talking about my Philip, yes?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, he was what happened was, you know, when somebody becomes an alcoholic or somebody becomes a drug addict, drugs and alcohol changes people really badly. And Philip was the most wonderful son. He really was. I know that all mothers say that, but he was a wonderful son to me. And the drugs did change him. And sadly, well, he lost his life because of them. And I don't know what to say. I get all choked up.
No, it's okay. I knew your son. I lived in Dublin between 1966 and 70.
You knew Philip?
I did, yes. I used to play with him every once in a while. I used to play on a Monday night when he was with Orphanage every once in a while. I used to do a little jam in John of God's.
Oh, yeah.
And I used to play with him there occasionally. And I met him down in places in Dublin like the Five Club and Sloopy's and those type of places. That's while he was becoming known, but he wasn't never. At that time, of course, he was just, you know, everybody loved him because he was so handsome and so charismatic. And I used to hate him because all the women would be all around him, and I used to try and find the ones that he threw away.
Oh, he was a character, wasn't he?
But then I saw him just before he died. He did a concert up here, and he had changed a lot, Philomena.
Yes, that was the sad part. I saw that, and yet, would you believe? I knew that he'd been on the. I'm going to say this lightly. I knew he'd been on the marijuana and all the things that people did in the 60s.
Yeah.
But I used to say to him, Philip, never ever go on heavy drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd say, Amma, for God's sake, we've all tried everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that sort of... And you got that kind of an answer, because by now he'd gone into his 30s. He was living in London. I was living in Manchester. And that was that. And then times changed, and he got married, and he decided... He bought his lovely home here in Dublin, out on a village called Howth.
That's right.
And then he bought me a house right near his wife and children.
The marriage
I
wasn't...
came back here to live. But I did see the change. He was starting to get fatter, more bloated. But then I was sort of blind, because I thought it was the aging. Little did I know that it was heavy drugs, and it wasn't until the last Christmas of his life. I'd been on holiday with him because the marriage had broken, and me and the children and him had gone on holiday, and that was August. Come the Christmas, he took very ill. I was over in London staying with him, and that was it. He got took away on Christmas Day, and for the last 11 days of his life, I spent them with him, me and my nephew.
That's good.
And it was awful. It was awful what drugs do to you.
Yeah.
And that's why... Do you know what upsets me? For the last couple of weeks, the newspapers have been inundated with stories about young Amy Winehouse.
Yes.
It's very sad. But what people forget is the newspapers go for Bill Lynott, Amy Winehouse, anybody else who dies of the drugs, because they're in show business. Every day of the week, your neighbour's children are dying of drugs, and nobody hears of it.
Absolutely
and
right.
Helps them.
There's a program
There's no
on.
awareness.
There's a
I'm
program.
attending something in Arklow this weekend on Saturday. It's going to be a big thing, helping. It's called the Awareness of Drugs down in Arklow, and I think every city should have one, because no mum or dad knows when that knock is going to come on their door telling them their child has been found in a car crash, suicide, whatever, all down to drugs.
That's right.
Well, Amy Winehouse dies, Philip Lynott dies, and it's all over the papers.
Yeah,
and that annoys me.
And just this morning on this programme, not on this programme, but on this station, in the programme before mine, we'd grown men crying their eyes out talking to the presenter, Stephen Nolan, because their lives had been destroyed by alcohol. You know, and nobody cares about them, you know.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I have to say, and it's terribly sad, and because I know how nice a guy that Philip was. He was just...
Oh, thank you.
No, he really was. It sounds terrible me saying this, but I knew him when he was nobody. And I was just lucky to know him. And he never changed. He never changed.
Thank you. Did you play a musical instrument?
I was a bass player.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, sure. I used to, I mean, we kind of... At the time, when I used to gig with him, he would play acoustic guitar. He was starting to write songs then. I remember one particular time...
They
will you hear
would
this?
let you hold and play Philip's bass guitars, the ones with the mirrors on and everything.
I know.
I'll tell them to let you.
Oh, for God's sake!
You can have your picture taken.
Oh, I would love to. I remember the time he was playing an acoustic guitar, and he was starting to write a song, and he played it to a friend of mine, and we were sitting in this flat one time, and you know we weren't the soberest, and he sang this song. You see, to this you may know him. His name is Eddie Creighton, a guitar player, and he said to Eddie, "What do you think of that?" And Eddie said, "It's a great song. The only thing is, it's The Boxer by Simon and Garfunkel." And Phil said, "All right, back to the drawing board." Anyway, tell me about the exhibition, Philomena. It's been amazingly successful.
It's absolutely amazing. I've lent them all Philip's clothes, all his beautiful jackets, his long black coat that he wore, like for Dear Miss Lonely Heart.
Yeah.
All his guitars, all his little... he was a collector of badges. He loved collecting badges, and all the letters he ever wrote to me from the age of 4 years of age. You see, when Philip was born, the day he was born, because I didn't have a wedding ring on my finger, and I'm 80 now, and I never ever married anybody.
Yeah.
My partner has just passed on, and I'd been with him for 50 years, and I never married him. All we did was argue. But anyway, I'll go back to my story. When I gave birth to Philip, the nurses they were horrendous. They were wicked, wicked people, and they battered me and everything. And then I was put into a home for unmarried mothers, and it was a workhouse. And they battered me, and there was nuns, and they spat on me and everything. They gave me the worst job. It's all written in my book.
Yeah, it was obviously because Philip was of mixed race.
I'm sorry?
It was obviously because Philip was of mixed race.
Yeah.
That was the reason, wasn't it?
Yeah, because yes, of course. And then one day I overheard a girl in the workhouse calling I was the only girl there with a black baby.
Yeah.
All the other babies, there was 18 unmarried mothers. And this girl, I heard her say, "Let the mother of the nigger do the job."
Okay.
And I ran out and I battered her. But didn't she batter me? And then the nun helped her, and the two of them, well, they nearly battered me. They nearly killed me, but I got them. And then they told me to go down to the church in the grounds. There was a little tiny church, and ask God to forgive me. And I walked down to the church, and I kept shouting at the altar, "Why am I asking for forgiveness? I've done nothing wrong. All they're doing is battering me because my baby is black." Anyway,
yeah.
why I've told you that part of the story was, the book will tell you how I survived and moved on. But to think that I go down to Dublin now, there's a statue of him.
Yes.
8-9 foot tall on a plinth. And also, there's an exhibition that's been the greatest success in the whole of Dublin. And people honouring him because they loved him. Everybody in Ireland loved Philip. Not Philip the boy that, I tell them thank you for loving him and loving his music, but not his lifestyle. But there you go. I'm a proud mother because the world has changed now. Most babies born today are born out of wedlock.
That's right.
I mean, a young girl today, if she gets in trouble, she can go to her mammy and say, "Mammy, I'm in trouble," and the mum and dad will help them, and the government will help them.
You picked the wrong time to have a black baby.
Telling you, it was horrendous. It was absolutely dreadful. And you know what they did when we were in that home?
What?
They made 18 girls, all of us, walk down the street of Selly Oak in Birmingham to the big, big church. They gave us old blankets to wrap around our babies, and they made us all stand around the front to have the baby baptized.
Yeah.
They said to me, "That girl will be Philip's godmother, and you be that girl's baby's godmother." And we got paired off. That was, Philip is 63. That was 62 years ago.
That's right.
Would you believe me when I tell you that 3 years ago I got a letter, and I opened it, and it said, "Dear Mrs. Lina, I believe you are my godmother, and my mother is your son's godmother. Please, please, could you help me find my mother, because I was adopted." I wrote back to the girl. I was shaking with tears and crying, and I said, "Listen, I'm terribly sorry, but when I got out of the workhouse, I didn't keep in touch with anybody, and I'm sorry. There's no way I can help you find your mammy, but will you keep in touch with me? And I'm sorry I've not been able to do godmother duties."
Yes.
She wrote back to me another 6 months later, and this is the story. She said she found her mother, but her mother was dying. And the letter she had wrote after she'd found out where the mother was, she got a letter back from 2 young ladies who were her siblings. And they said, "Please let our mother die with her secret, for she never told Daddy that she had a baby when she met him."
Oh, God.
I listened, and she said, "Please, but we will keep in touch with you. We are pleased that we have a sister, and we're not going to tell Daddy neither." Well, that broke my heart.
Yeah.
And that is what happened to women in my day that had babies out of wedlock, no matter what colour they were. They were put in a girl who had the baby and the brother. They'd go and find the culprit, and they would march him down the aisle. It was called a shotgun wedding in those days.
Times have changed.
I hope your listeners don't think I'm
No. I'm sure
how
the
it
listeners.
was.
I'm sure the listeners are well aware that these things used to happen. And you mentioned the statue of Phil. That's around the corner from the Stephen's Green shopping centre in Dublin, where the exhibition is. And it's on. The exhibition is on until it's going to finish on August the 31st. Isn't that right, Philomena?
Yeah.
And you'll be in the Rock Bar tomorrow. What time is that again in Belfast?
And a lot of my friends, Philip's fans, have got in touch with me. They read about it in a magazine, and they said, "Am I coming up to Belfast?" And I said, "Yes," and they're going to meet me there.
Excellent.
And if ever you're coming down to the exhibition, let me know, and I'd like to shake your hand.
Oh, I'd love to meet you, Philomena. I never have. I really would love to meet you, and I'm going to try and get down there before August the 31st.
Well, Hot Press will arrange it. They'll make a fuss of you.
And your book, of course, is well worth a read. I've read it. It's called My Boy, Philomena Lynott, and that's Lynott. Is it Lynott or Lynott? I always get it wrong. I never know. It's Lynott, isn't it?
It's actually...
Some people say Lynott.
It's Lynott, but when you read it, it's Lynott.
Yeah.
And you'd get tired correcting everybody. Philip hated to be called Phil Lynott. He wanted to be called Philip Lynott.
I never knew that.
I'd say to him, Philip, you can't correct everybody.
All right, Philomena. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and I hope it goes well for you in the Rock Bar tomorrow.
Please
and that
God.
people will flock and go and see that Stephen's Green. I've got a photograph in front of me. It's a little story which my listeners with this programme will be familiar with. Do you know the Zodiac Bar? Philip used to drink there. That's where his statue is outside. It's now called the Bruxelles, but it used to be called the Zodiac. And Philip used to drink downstairs. And I lent him a tenner one time. He had no money. Because he was famous at that time. But you know the way it was? He didn't get any money. And somebody said to me, and I wrote this thing one time, but every time I stand in front of the statue, I say, that statue owes me a tenner. So I want you to send me that tenner.
I must tell you, I hope this is terribly funny. When I came home from England once, because my mammy raised him here in Dublin, that's why he had his Dublin accent.
Yes.
And he said, "Come on, Ma, I'm going to take you to dinner." And he took me down to Grafton Street, and he took me into a little Italian sort of a cafe place.
Yes.
And I saw him go up to the man, and he ordered spaghetti bolognese. And he said to the man, "Will you split it in two and put it on 2 plates?" And it seems in those days it was ½ a crown for the plate of spaghetti.
Yes.
And that's where he probably went whenever he was in town and got himself a big plate.
I know what that place was called. It was called the Coffee Inn.
Was it?
Yes, I know. It was the only place you get a pizza or a spaghetti bolognese with genuine Italian food, and it was lovely.
Yeah.
Anyway, listen, it was a pleasure talking to you, Philomena, and the best of luck to you. And you're a very beautiful person.
Thank you kindly, and you're a very handsome, lovely man.
I am indeed. Goodbye. Oh dear, hold on a second. I'm playing the wrong song here entirely. Excuse me. I meant to play... Just excuse me a second. Do you know what I did? I got a record and I was supposed to put it on, and I didn't put it on because I wanted to pay respects to Philip. And it's a song called Sarah. And let me just see if I've got it here. Yes, there it is. And I play this too because Sarah, of course, was one of Phil Lynnett's most popular songs, but it's also the name of my granddaughter. So there we are. So we'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone, I have to say. There we go. It's coming up now. Oh, for God's sake. There it is. Wasn't Philomena a lovely person? And why is this not playing? Excuse me a second. Some slight problem here. Here we go. I'll try this. There's something wrong with this. I'm terribly sorry. I'll play something else in a moment, but I'll try and get that fixed if I can. Probably not though.
And when I go away, I know my heart can stay with my love. It's understood. It's in the hands of my love. And my love does it good. Whoa, whoa, whoa. still find something there with my love. It's understood, it's everywhere with my love. My love does it good. Oh, 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 oh. My love does it good. Oh, I love. Oh, my love. Only my love holds the other key to me. Oh, my love. Oh, my love. Only my love does it good to me. My love does it good. Don't ever ask me why. I never say goodbye to my love. It's understood. It's everywhere with my love. My love does it good. My love does it good. Oh, I love. Oh, my love. Only my love does it good to me.
That's Paul McCartney, of course, My Love, featuring our own Henry McCullough from Puss Stewart on one of the finest guitar solos acknowledged ever to be put on vinyl. Now, I'm just rubbing that with my jumper. I meant to play, of course, Sarah by Thin Lizzy. I'll try that again, but I'm almost afraid to because I've tried twice. Now, Aisling Clark is on the line. Morning, Aisling.
Hello, Gerry. How you doing?
You're the producer of Wireless Mystery Theatre. Tell me about that.
Well, it's a theatre company based here in Belfast that reproduces old-time radio plays on the stage as if we were in a radio studio from the 40s or 50s.
Oh, I'd love to do that. If you ever have a part for me, please let
I'm
me
sure
know.
we can work something out for you now.
I want to be the fellow that does the coconuts.
Yeah,
the
we have
horses.
one of those, but there's always room for another.
And you've been doing one in particular recently, and what's that?
It's called The Return Room, and we do a lot of plays that are American or English, but this one is special because it was written by a poet called W.R. Rogers, who's from Belfast.
Yeah.
And it was written in the 50s, and it's a collection of his memories about his boyhood in the 20s. And it's peppered with street songs, children's games, all this kind of thing. It was broadcast for the first time in 1955.
Was it broadcast nationwide, or was it just BBC Northern Ireland?
It was nationwide, and it was in December 1955.
Well, I wonder, was it recorded in Broadcasting House in Belfast?
It was, yes.
Was it?
Yes,
And
we've been doing a reproduction of that. We've done it a couple of times already, but we were asked to come up and do it in Stormont.
When?
That will be the 11th of August.
That's only Thursday week, isn't it? Tomorrow
That's
week?
right, yeah. It's a private performance. It's for MLAs. MLAs are inviting their constituents and that kind of thing. So if people want to come, get onto their MLA and say, we want to come and see that.
Barry Michael Duff will be there. And more than that, you're trying to get some of the original people who took part in it to kind of show up.
Yes, well, that's why I'm talking to you, because there, as I said, there's a lot of children's street songs, skipping games, that kind of thing. And there was a group of children from 2 schools in Belfast. There was a group of kids from Harding Memorial on the Craig Road.
Yes.
And a group of kids from St. Comgall's in Divis Street.
Yes.
And we don't have names for these children. We just know there was a group from each of those schools. And if any of those could come forward, they'd be in their 60s, 70s at this stage.
I'm just trying to work this out. Those kids would have been about, what, 10, 11?
About that, yeah, about 10 or so.
So if they were 10, then they'd be 66 now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're looking for 60...
I do have 3 names of 3 children who had speaking parts, and if they were still in the country and could come forward as well. There's a Billy McGuigan, who was 14 at that time.
Yes.
Marilyn Smith, who was 10 and a half. And Dennis McGuire, who was 10.
But you haven't contacted them yet?
No, we haven't found them, but if they want to come forward, that'd be brilliant. Like, it'd be nice to have them at any of the performances we do, particularly the one in Stormont.
Oh, give us their names again, would you, please?
Billy McGuigan.
Billy McGuigan.
Marilyn Smith.
Marilyn Smith.
And Dennis McGuire.
Dennis McGuire. And anybody else who took part in that play?
Anybody else who took part in it, yeah. Very interested to hear from them.
Well, that would be a big thrill for them at the time because, I mean, now every dog's arse is on the radio, including me. But at that time it was a very special thing, especially to be on a play would have been a big thing. Huge
I'm sure
thing.
it was, yeah.
Absolutely.
They were down there in Broadcasting House for 3 days in December 1955. I'm sure they remember it well. It would have been a big thing at the time, you know.
So you're performing it in Stormont on the 11th of August. Okay, so anyone out there who took part in that broadcast, which was it was called The Return Room by W.R. Rogers, and it was recorded and transmitted in 1955.
1955, that's right. And we're doing it because Blackstaff Press just released a new edition of the script and a recording of the CD a year ago. So if anybody wants to hear it as well, and they can get it from Blackstaff Press. It's a really lovely thing.
You can actually hear it and have the script as well.
Yeah.
All right, okay, that's Blackstaff Press a year ago. Okay. Excellent, thank you very much indeed. And anybody who wants to contact you, all they have to do is give us a ring. Do you want to give a ring of a number of your own, or do you just want to leave it to us?
Well, I don't mind giving my number as well if anyone wants to.
No, don't give your own personal number unless you've got some other number that you want to give. It doesn't matter.
Well, you know, it's probably better to go through you then. I don't.
Absolutely, yeah, because you don't want to be giving your private number out there because a lot of weirdos out there.
Oh, well. No.
You don't want to be giving your mobile number or anything. All right, then. So anyone who wants to contact me about that, anyone who took part in that play called The Return Room in the 50s, 1955, give us a ring at 08459 555 678. And we'll put another little call out tomorrow just in case the people didn't have time enough to do it today, because at 12 o'clock it reverts over to talkback and all the people who used to be crazy but aren't too crazy now. Thank you very much, Ashley.
Okay, thanks, Gerry.
Thank you. Bye. Bye. Kevin is on the line. Morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Gerry.
How are you, sir?
I'm all right. I'm fine. It's nice and sunny and warm here. What's it like up there?
I don't know. I haven't been out yet. They don't let me out until 1 o'clock. Where are you?
Well, believe it or not, I'm in the BBC headquarters in White City.
Good man. So it's good there.
Yeah. It's.
What can we do for you then today?
You were going to be interviewing me about King of the English Channel and a talk that I'm going to be giving tomorrow.
Oh, that's sorry. I didn't realise that. I'm terribly sorry. Excuse me. I didn't know who I was talking to there for a minute. I wasn't expecting this interview at all. I thought I was going to do that later. Excuse me. Sorry. Tell me again.
I'm Kevin Murphy. I'm known as King of the English Channel. I've swum the channel 34 times, including 3 doubles.
Kevin, do you know I'm going to tell you? Can I just say this to you? I thought I was doing this interview tomorrow.
Oh, right.
Thank you, Emma.
Well, tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So I know nothing about you. I thought I was. I really genuinely thought I was going to talk to you tomorrow, and I've
tomorrow about just after this time, I'll be giving a talk at the what is it? The St Mary's University College as part of the Festival of the People.
Okay, so tell me about yourself now. Tell me about all this, because excuse me for not knowing anything. Go ahead.
As I say, I'm known as King of the English Channel.
Yes.
Name's Kevin Murphy. I swum the channel 34 times, including 3 doubles, double being 2 wits. More importantly, from your point of view, I've also swum the North Channel. That's roughly Stranraer. I've swum the North Channel 3 times, and the North Channel, of course, is known throughout the world as the toughest of the lot.
That's a
for
toughie,
the
yeah.
long distance swimming.
And what is the length of the distance you swim in the North Channel?
It's the same, believe it or not, as the English Channel.
Yeah, but rougher.
Almost identical, about 23 mile. But it's much, much, much colder, lots of jellyfish, and it's potentially a lot rougher. That's why it's known as the toughest of the lot.
When you say you do that Channel Twice thing, I mean, do you just actually basically turn around, or I mean, do you stop for a while?
Well, no, it's not quite a tumble turn on the beach, as it were, but you have to clear the water, walk straight back in, 10 minutes to restart swimming, and then off you go again. I did actually try it once 3 ways. That's 3 widths, as it were.
Oh, my God.
I got 52 hours non-stop swimming, 2.5 ways. That's halfway back on the third leg. And they leaned over the side and said, it's so rough. There was so windy, it's so rough. If you don't come out now, we'll never be able to get you out. Actually, I think I'd actually worn them out. It was swimmer-worn boat crew out at that point, I think.
I don't know how you get in shape for a thing like that. I mean, I'm doing a little training now, which I never did before in my life, and it's killing me. I mean, I don't know how you'd even prepare for a triple or a double or even a single crossing of the channel. Amazing. So that's what you'll be telling the people what your preparation is.
Yes,
all your experiences.
Be talking about it and hopefully inspiring, to be honest, inspiring others to come and do it. Because the following day, on Friday, in the evening, there's a King of the Bay challenge, as it were, which is an open water swim challenge in Helens Bay. Oh. And that's 750 metres, 1,500 metres and 3 kilometres.
Are you going to take part in that, or are you just going to kind of...
well, I'm presiding over it.
Good.
I might dip my toe in. I'll see what presiding over it actually means. To be honest, the mayor's there, so perhaps we can get him in as well.
Oh, excellent! So tell me where you're going to be tomorrow, then.
It's St Mary's University College. It's 1 p.m. and it's going to go on for about an hour and a half. It's actually also, I should say, in aid of the Northern Ireland Children's Hospice, and in memory of a little girl called Claudia Rose Raffo, who's a 10-year-old girl who died.
Yes, well, Kevin, I apologise again for my lack of information. It's entirely my fault. It's nothing to do with you, and you're a brick for not hating me for it. And
trying not to be fazed by it, as you were.
I had no idea who you were. Best of luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. For now.
You see? And you've nobody working for you. Well, it's my fault. My fault.
You came to me with words of grace and hope, eloquent and true, my heart eloped. You led the line and fed the battle cry. I never even stopped to question why. I took your colors, wrapped around my soul. Then I noticed a dirty gaping hole. Then I saw what you had gone and done. You left me standing here with a smoking gun. Of all the things you could have said, you went and left me here for dead. You left me standing here with a smoking gun. Now your fading beauty's gone away. Mouth wide open, nothing left to say. Seduction makes for such a painless fall. Break me into dollars, votes, and cents. You break me into pieces like a doll, all tied up in promises and quotes, turning golden angels into gold.
Probably tired of hearing me saying that I think that's one of the most exciting records ever made in Northern Ireland. That's the Dolly Birds. It's called Broken Doll. People are asking about a piece of music I played after the news featuring Martin Bennett, kind of a strange kind of a thing. It was called Harry is in Heaven. Martin Bennett says here, Sharon O'Connor writes to me and she said, Martin was a beautiful, talented musical innovator who lived on the Isle of Mull off Scotland's west coast. And as I suspected, he died tragically young 3-4 years ago. I have his music, funky Scottish music, mood music, and he kind of trails off just a wee bit. So if anybody knows anything more about him, please let me know, because I'd like to play more of his material, actually, on this programme. Material's a horrible word, but you know what I mean. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Am I supposed to interview you today?
No.
That's all right, because I keep interviewing people I don't know.
No,
How are
I
you?
just want to make out an appeal, Gerry.
Yes.
My daughter was at the Sands in Cookstown on Monday night,
Uh-huh.
and she had her handbag stolen.
Oh, dear.
And the purse and the new phone was in it, but worst of all, her passport was in it.
Oh, that's the horrible thing. Is she going away anywhere
Yeah,
soon?
she's going Monday.
Ah, for God's sake.
And there's no way she can get it, and I just want anybody for an appeal. She doesn't care about the phone or the money as long as she gets her passport back.
They will get it for you. Is it an Irish one or an English one?
It's an Irish one.
Oh, well, even worse.
Even worse, see, she
Yeah.
can't, she tried, so...
No.
So
do you know what you should...
And
do you
it's
know,
her first holiday, really. She's just left school and she's going to university, so her and her friends were just flying out.
okay, if she doesn't... we had a case like this the other day, and I'll tell you what to do, if you don't mind.
Right.
This worked. We had a similar situation whereby a person had trouble with the passport, and I suggested they contact their MLA or their MP.
Right.
And they will do it for you. I'm
Will
telling
they?
you. Who's your MP or your MLA? Do you know?
I don't
Now
know.
you say no, you don't know.
I don't even know. Some of them, I'll get somebody in.
No, find out, and I'd contact them and tell them, because that's one of the things that they do. They will help you in a case like that. Has your daughter already paid for a holiday and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff? Well, you see, she's not going to get her money back.
No, it's not even that, but She was going with her friends and she's crying her eyes out. Do you know what I mean?
Of course. No. Listen, do this and do it today. Don't wait to see if you get the passport back. This is Wednesday. Contact your MLA or your MP today and tell them, because they don't know how else to do. They're on their holidays.
Right.
And they hopefully, if they're any good at all, they'll settle it for you.
Right.
And you tell them that if they don't do it, you're going to tell me, and I'm going to tell the people on the radio.
Right, Gerry. Right, that's okay.
So where was it lost, just in case somebody's got it?
It was in Sense in Cookstown.
Where? What is that? It's Sense?
Yeah.
What's that?
It's a Glenavon Hotel.
Oh, sorry. Okay, right. Disco room kind of thing in the Glenavon Hotel.
And if anybody has a passport handed in, it doesn't matter about the phone or the money.
The passport's the thing?
Yeah.
Okay, what's her name?
Well, she doesn't really want to give her name.
Oh, do you not? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have asked that. I'm terribly sorry. I'm terribly sorry. I'm not thinking. All right, then. So do that, and if you don't get it, but do that today. Contact your
Janet has the phone numbers anyway, Gerry.
Yeah, okay. Well, contact your MP or your MLA today.
Okay.
Don't wait.
Okay, Gerry. Thank you for your help.
All right, then. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Everybody loves this guy here. He's Dermot O'Connor. I played a track from him the other day called I Fall in Love Too Easily. Everybody keeps ringing up saying, who is this guy? Who is he? Well, he's from Dungiven, as far as I know.
Sit alone, waiting for you to call. Though I know the chances of that a million to one. Can't explain the feeling when I hear your name. Electricity runs right through me. Baby, you're the one. What's your name?